Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today, December 7th, 2021. The man they call Meathead and the, not Road Warrior, but the Wrestling Warrior, and not the Road Warriors. You see what I did there? I kind of made it all confusing, but it's the level of the K. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. I will take that intro because whether you call me a road warrior or just a wrestling warrior or just a warrior, those are all great things.
All great things to be associated with, absolutely. You know what else is great is the gear that I had on over the weekend and that everybody supported out at Waukesha. What were they wearing?
They were, and yourself, wearing
Yeah.
two.
Like I said, I had
collar-level
Festus
items at the
face underneath the
same
hooded
time.
sweatshirt.
You were sporting the tremendous collar and elbow. If you also want to sport the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions, perhaps get some Christmas presents or whatever holiday presents, or just, gift yourself. Go
Yeah.
to collarandelbowbrand.com, and to save 10% off your order, use promo code Linda K, LINDAKAY.
Yeah, and Collar and Elbow Brand has always been really good at the shipping. So what I'd like to see happen is you guys order it now, even though it's the 6th, and those poor FedEx and UPS and Amazon drivers are just getting, destroyed out there. Give it some time. Don't expect it to be, 1 to 2 days. Give it some time. We're on the 7th now, so we've got 17 days until Christmas Eve. Order it now, get it in, use that promo code Linda K, and then get your gear.
Dock on up.
All right, let's talk about first, fresh off of Blizzard Brawl and a 6-man tag, Austin Gunn has been announced to be on the cast of a new reality TV show. Did you hear about this, Linda?
I heard a little bit about it, but I mean, it's so ironic. He literally just here in the
Yeah.
Milwaukee area for Blizzard Brawl, and now we've got some more exciting news for him.
Yep, January 12th, Wednesday, January 12th on the E Network, the capital E with the exclamation after it. There's a new TV show called Relatively Famous Ranch Rules. Or if I were to do my voiceover voice, I'd go, Relatively Famous Ranch Rules, coming 12th of January, Wednesday on the E Network. All right, so what it is Relatively Famous Ranch Rules is going to feature 8 celebrity children being put to the test at the Saddleback Ranch in Colorado. Now, the children of celebrities are going to spend 30 days working on the ranch as they seek to discover and define their own identities out of the shadow of their famous parents. Here's the cast. Obviously, we got Austin, son of Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass. And you've got people like Shaquille O'Neal's son, Miles O'Neal. You got Pat Benatar's daughter, Hannah Geraldo. David Hasselhoff's daughter, Taylor Hasselhoff. Martin Lawrence's daughter, Jasmine Lawrence. Ray Parker Jr.'s son, Ray Parker Jr. You know who Ray Parker Jr. is, right?
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
That's right. Redmond Parker, Billy Bob Thornton's kid, Harry James Thornton, and finally Eazy-E's daughter, Ebby Wright, are going to be on the show. That is an eclectic mix.
Yes, and a mix of different age ranges, different industries of the children of their famous parents. E does put some great reality shows together, and it's been a while since we've seen one featuring a wrestler or wrestling stars or families. I'm gonna have to make sure.
We had Mr. Spectacular at Blizzard Brawl. He was a Big Brother participant.
Oh yeah, he's still doing his thing with Big Brother as well. He's still rocking it out with CBS and whatnot. So I'm stoked for this one. I got to make sure I set my DVR for that one.
Yep, and tonight, right after the People's Choice Awards on E! and NBC, there is going to be a sneak preview of Relatively Famous Ranch Rules Episode 1. So tonight, after the People's Choice Awards on E! and NBC, and then the proper show airs Wednesday, January 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. So it's right in the primetime slot on a Wednesday.
So if it's being called Ranch Rules, does that mean it's going to be something similar to MTV Road Rules back in the day? A lot of challenges.
So here's what it is. It's the group is tasked to help the ranch recover from COVID-19 pandemic shutdown and will be expected to help reopen the ranch and increase its tourism to bring sustainable business back to the area in just 30 days. So there's a trailer out there as well.
Okay. I just thought of Road Rules because after War Games Sunday night, it went right into season 2 of Ruthless Aggression, and they were talking a lot about the Miz and his reality show journey. And I know he was on Real World, but he was featured on Rebels. And
True story.
It all kind of just ties in together all these years later.
All right. Let's talk about Raw from last night, okay?
Yes.
So it was 3 hours, right? They opened up the show absolutely hot, in my opinion. I did not expect to see that, but what a big match to open up. And I want to ask you about this. Them opening up like this, consistently opening up like this, does this mean that they've, and this is no slight against Becky and Liv, who closed out the show, does this mean they are essentially giving up the final match, the main event slot, the close the show out slot to Monday Night Football? Because they seem to be front loading all their Raws with all their big names.
I think it's just a matter of capturing the audience right from the get-go. Get them in hot right away, keep them in hot, and knowing that we still will get not just the women's title match, but there was also United States Open Challenge Championship match, which I'm not really sure was advertised now that I think about it, but I think it's just capturing the audience a different way so that they aren't just tuning in toward the very end with a lot of people expecting
got a lot of work
that the
to do,
show
that's for
was
sure.
going to close.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's some of us loyal, faithful fans that will tune in the whole time, but I'm gonna assume starting it with a hot cage match with Big E and KO. That definitely helped. I feel the
promo to open up was great too by Seth Rollins saying, you know what, now Kevin Owens, you're going to go into this match, this steel cage match with the champion Big E. You snuck your way into my match at day one. Well, go ahead, have fun, buddy, as Big E just pounds you in the cage. I really thought this was set up well, and it was a pretty brutal match. The winner of the match at the end of the night, though, was Big E. Now, after the match, Big E stood tall. Rollins attacked from behind. Your thoughts?
Well, it didn't shock me as Rollins already interfered by shutting the cage door on both Big E and KO during the match. But what I was surprised by, though, was another interference. Well, it was already after the match was done, but we had a run in there by none other than Bobby Lashley.
That's right.
Oh. So...
And that's not the real Big Bob that we usually call out, but that's another Bob.
Right, another Big Bob, but a different Bob, and that is Bobby Lashley. Now, the way he beat down everybody after that match, are we possibly seeing a fatal four-way to happen at day one?
Possibly. I hope not, because we've already changed the match once. Why would we change it again?
Yeah. I just, yes, Bobby Lashley is front runner, a top star.
Yes.
Should he be in this title match at day one? Yes, we can definitely argue that. But as you mentioned, there's already been twists and turns. I mean, even having, some shenanigans taking place on SmackDown with their number one contendership happening. I don't think we necessarily need that right now on the Raw side as well, but it's definitely took a turn.
Let's talk about that. Let's take a pump the brakes in the Raw for a second, because we didn't obviously talk about SmackDown over the weekend due to Blizzard Brawl being in a way, but the return of Brock Lesnar having some yucks, laughing it up with Sami Zayn, who was the number one contender and the locker room leader. Brock Lesnar encouraging Sami to go ahead and get that title shot tonight. Just get it right now, buddy, and to go ahead and take on Roman Reigns. Well, Roman Reigns destroyed him, put him in the submission hold. He tapped out right away. And the way he got it worked out was the winner of that match, Brock Lesnar, was getting his match at day one. Let me ask you, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns at day one, is this a day one kind of match, or is this a WrestleMania match? When did they have their last match? I don't believe it was SummerSlam. I think it was like a one-off, like Unforgiven or, a house show or something. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah, and now it taking place at
day one.
Pay-per-view that's not one of the big four.
And look at the competition they have that night. It's a Saturday. It's January 1st. January 1st, historically, is a huge college football day. There's going to be college football on all day long. They're going to be going head-to-head with that.
Right. And the biggest one of it all taking place in the evening against day one. That's a very great point, Meathead. I didn't think too much about that. I was just thinking, new year, new leaf to turn, if you will, and playing off Usos day one-ish. I understand it being a big pay-per-view with top matches, considering we didn't have a pay-per-view for December on the
Right.
WWE side, but that's a really great point. I mean, are we gonna have less eyes on the live product? I mean, obviously with Peacock, we can watch it after the fact,
Well,
but
kind of. You kind of can because they don't have DVR capability while the show's live. You have to wait for it to not be live anymore.
yes. There's some flexibility on that with my phone, and I don't know about you, but there was no flexibility. I forgot to mention this to you, Meathead, yesterday. Sorry about that. But during War Game, for the very first time, I was able to pause and actually rewind and fast forward. It was a little tricky. I don't know if it was just my TV, but
Okay.
off my actual TV, not my phone, I was
Right.
able to, you know, play with it a little bit for the first time. So
It's weird because
maybe,
I've watched it on 4 different platforms: my phone, a Roku, my PS4, my PS5, and it's been funky on every one of them. So I'm missing the WWE network, and I never thought I would say that.
yeah, I do miss that flexibility. We can just pause, start, and
Or
be
you could
with
literally
it.
just walk in and rewind it and then skip over to stuff that you don't want to watch.
Or pause every time you gotta go to the kitchen and make some
Right.
popcorn,
Right.
grab a
Exactly.
cold one, go to the
Or change a diaper,
bathroom.
do what you got to do. Right. All right.
um,
We talked about her name for a few weeks now, hoping that she doesn't show up in this next set of releases. Well, she got featured last night on TV, and she had new additions to her video package. Did you notice that? Nikki Ash.
that's tremendous. I
So
mean,
hopefully that means she's back. She's here to stay.
right. And she may not have won the match against Queen Zelina, but there was more to it. We got that promo back. Well, that's not a promo, but that piece backstage.
Yeah.
There was a fan saying that they were
Oh yeah, and
the
then
number one
that
fan
fan's
out of
eyes
the.
were never making contact with Nikki. It was with the re-signed and Memphis hero Jerry the King Lawler.
That is tremendous to see. Memphis's own Jerry Lawler in the
And like I
house.
said, re-upped. The news is that he just signed an extension, so he's still with the company and still kicking.
Yes, that is tremendous.
That's fantastic. But Nikki, no, what I was talking about with her entrance is now, in that little video that pops up while they're going out to the ring, that kind of hovers over the ramp. Now it
Hmm.
like points up like it's a Batman logo.
That's great.
No, I'm real happy for it. So
Yeah.
please let this be that she's continuing on, or is it a sign that she's on her way out because Riddle was getting all these new cartoons and then poof, he was gone. Not Riddle, I'm sorry, Aleister Black.
There are a lot that it seemed like there would be more, but
Yeah.
yeah. But, let's just hope for the best and see where we go with that.
Okay. Highlight of the night again. It sounds like we're just kind of beating the same drum over and over, but it is what it is. The RK Bronament in the Blazers, tremendous.
Yes. Even the earpiece. And I
That
can
old
relate.
school earpiece with the big piece in the middle.
I can relate to it all, having to throw on a blazer at times and having the earpiece in. And at first I was thinking, not really sure where we're going with this. And once
But
he,
Randy said yes.
yes, Randy Orton throwing on that beige, nude tan blazer as well as they were
Now
at
they had
ringside
the current
commentary.
logo on there. You would really pop me if it would have had the old WWF logo or the old
Yeah.
Attitude Era logo. But
Mm-hmm.
that would did it for me. So the RK Bronament had the Street Profits taking on AJ Styles and Omos. The winners by countout, the Street Profits. This was a weird match. And after the match, AJ almost entered the ring, and AJ talks about how much he has to listen because that's how this team works. He's not interested, and he walked away from AJ. What's going on with these two guys?
Guess it's about that time where we're starting to see a little drift between the two of them. They haven't been gelling quite as well. Definitely not as well as they were when they were the tag team
Yeah.
champions. Yeah. So
Even after they lost it, they were gelling solid.
mm-hmm. Yes, the first time you see a real change with one of them, and this time being Omas. But
Yeah.
I will say what got me great with this segment was Riddle then coming in and doing his post match interview with AJ Styles, and
Can we
AJ
get a
playing
word?
along with it.
Can we get a word?
Yeah, I was expecting AJ to turn around and
pop him.
Smack him, yeah. But that didn't happen. He said he threatened him a little, but
Maybe he
that
was
did not
just
happen.
thrown off. But yeah, he threatened to pop him in the mouth. I loved it. Open challenge for the WWE United States title, Robert Roode and Damian Priest. That's the Big Bob I want to talk about. The Dirty Dogs, Big Bob, Robert Roode. Big Bob. Unfortunately, Big Bob had the move scouted, and then Priest dodged that move, and then he got the pinfall victory.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great
I
match.
loved him yelling "glorious" too when he did it for the DDT.
Yeah, miss
Those
the
little
whole glorious stuff. Yes. But I will say I do like the, keeping the tradition with having open challenges
yeah.
with the United States Championship and just another title match itself at Raw.
Doudrop and Bianca Belair. They've been kind of back and forth with each other. I like that this isn't this huge blown out deal. Let's get a matchup on Raw. Let's try to see if we can put this thing together. Well, Bianca Belair and Doudrop, they had a match. It didn't end the way I liked it. Bianca goes for the kiss of death, slammed her into the turnbuckles, and then Doudrop had enough and she made her exit up the ramp while the referee counted. Doudrop counted out, fans boo. If Frank Costantino were here right now, the thing that Frank couldn't stand the most was DQs, especially on pay-per-views. DQs at a house show is one thing. DQs on Raw, we don't want them, but on pay-per-views, they're worst. But we got a count out on Raw.
Right. And I believe Bianca is from Memphis, so maybe it was a way to still.
I think she was a Tennessee Volunteer. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's still a way to, try and have her come up with the win, but definitely not the way we would want to see it. But this is something that's still going to continue, obviously, between her and Doudrop. Doudrop is at heel. She's showing the cowardness and should play to the weeks to come. Maybe they'll get a match at day one as well.
Maybe. Hey, let's talk about Vince McMahon and Austin Theory. Now, still don't know where this is going. Austin Theory's getting on TV, so you can't, talk down about it because he's getting on. Vince is on TV with him, so he's getting the rub from Vince. But he's looking for Vince Vince is looking for Austin to impress him, but he won't say how. So this is TV Vince, just giving these little subtle suggestions. And Austin obviously believes it's going to be, jumping jacks. Wait, hold on. Let me open up my my gear. And then naked jumping jacks. And I don't know where this thing is going, Linda. I really don't.
It's a unique way, obviously, getting Austin Theory over. But it's the whole way it started with that egg. And I get that movie was the
promotional tie-in.
Right. Correct. But, we are getting Vince at every Raw since then, which, hey, seeing Vince regularly on a Raw is something tremendous. And it, brings back
speaking
memories.
of Raw, Vince did mention jock itch. So I don't know what's going on there. It's a Raw
that
jock
too. I wasn't sure if I heard that right.
Oh, you heard it. You heard me just repeat it again, too. So Raw jock itch from Vince McMahon.
Well, I mean, obviously, this push for Austin Theory is taking place and having the support of Mr. McMahon, even though he did smack him last week. It's helping.
And he smacked him. Folks, he didn't pull his punch. He smacked him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that the whole thing with Austin, the selfies, I think that's something working for him. He is a young guy. It's definitely, something that young folks do and some of us older folks do.
That's what the kids do. Yep.
Yeah, but there's got to be something more with this. Why Vince is constantly having him come into the office. And remember, this stemmed from Austin Theory stealing something.
He had Vince McMahon's egg in his hand.
Right, from his
office. Who's got
my egg? You would think there'd be some type of punishment to this, but maybe it's leading to that.
Maybe.
Something
Maybe
crazy.
He's just going with him. Hey, we're going to get a Miz TV, and Edge is going to be the special guest. Very underrated Faith No More album. Linda, did you see the T-shirt?
I must have missed that cue there.
He was wearing Angel Dust. That was the T-shirt for the album cover by Faith No More. So Faith No More's biggest album, obviously, was Epic, and they had What Is It? What is it? What's it? What is it? That song. The rapping song is what everybody called it. The follow-up album was Angel Dust. That's the one that had Jizzlobber, RV. There was a couple other songs on there, and I can't think of the names of them, but I can hear the lyrics in the back of my head. Very underrated. I kind of popped for the t-shirt. I'm like, oh my God, is that a Faith No More t-shirt? Yes. Go back and watch it. Go back and listen to it, actually. RV and Jizzlobber are probably two of my favorite Faith No More songs of all time.
I'm mainly knowing Epic, but that was the main radio hit. So
That was the big radio hit. Fallen to Pieces came out right after Epic, and that's my favorite off of that album. Plus, they do an amazing cover of War Pigs.
oh.
Okay, so Edge is on Miz TV, and really, at the end of the day, not too much came of this other than Miz being scared that Edge was going to pop him, and he slipped in his shoes. But they got a match at day one.
Yeah, I also like how Edge brought up some history, saying in this building, and brought up how
Yeah,
he
decide.
right. And I do like how they told this story about how, yeah, like how he was willing to work with him, and it wasn't like he was shooting down on him. He's like, you know what, you're here, I'll compete with you. It's just you thinking that you were better than everybody else.
Right.
Kind of
Well, I mean, the
mentality,
story, folks,
putting
if
him
you
in his
guys don't know
place.
this, the story of him getting kicked out of the locker room and having to change in the hallway is real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Miz was kicked out, and he said it was for eating chicken. That's the story. I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you if it's true or not, but that's the story too. That Miz really had to be beaten down, kind of like going to Marine Corps basic training. You had to be stripped of all what you thought it was going to be and be taught the right way. And that's what Miz has gone through in his last 16 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really learning a lot about Miz's background, not just through, what Edge said last week on Raw, but reiterated again last night. And also, again, I know I mentioned it earlier today, but the recent season 2 of Ruthless Aggression, and just showing Miz's start and how he got into pro wrestling.
Run around in the crowd yelling, hoorah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the other side of the tournament in the RK Bro-nament, it's a tongue twister, sorry. Mysterio's in Alpha Academy. Excuse me. Mysterio's with a win. And then after the match, Ray and Dominic obviously regrouping. Otis and Gable stand tall over Riddle. Because again, Riddle is just really just up in the face of all these guys. I don't think Randy Orton's got to really agree at this stuff. Street Profits and Mysterio's next week to see who takes on RK Bro at day one.
Yeah. We didn't get Randy back at ringside. I mean, he did take off the blazer, said that, this is it for now, my broader commentating career or whatnot. But I don't know. I love
I don't mind the tournament stuff. I mean, that's one of the things we enjoy with AEW. Give me something to look forward to, something to build to.
Right.
I feel like I'm channeling one of our longtime listeners. I know he's listening here, but make stuff mean stuff. That was something that he had always said. He's from somewhere out in California. Linda probably remember him calling in on our Monday night meltdowns. But make things mean stuff. This little mini tournament, cool. We're working towards a tournament. You had 2 matches tonight, or last night, excuse me, and then you'll have a match next week to get to the pay-per-view. I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and having Riddle inserted into all of this really helps to keep momentum. But I just, we all know who Randy Orton is, and right now him and Riddle are gelling so well, but you can kind of feel it maybe happening where the Viper
Riddle might be too much for Randy right now.
Mm-hmm. He's not always listening to him. I mean, Randy is the veteran, so Riddle should be listening to him more. And he does. He
go
does.
Ahead.
I was to say he does, but sometimes he's doing stuff that has upset Randy, even though the damage hasn't really much been done. But I'm just waiting for something crazy to happen. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying Riddle. He makes me laugh. Entertainment, baby.
Something we had complained about Raw, maybe more so myself and maybe Matthew than you, but I had mentioned that it was the same people over and over doing the same things. We even got T-Bar last night. Dominic Dijakovic in the match. Now, he was there as kind of background because what was going to happen after Finn Balor defeated T-Bar, Austin Theory attacks, takes the selfie, and hopes that he's sending the selfies to Vince McMahon, and that's how he's going to impress him.
Yeah. I have a feeling Vince still won't be impressed, no matter what.
No.
But
Hey, I got a question for you. In Vince's office, when knock, 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 come in. When you talk to people, like if you're on your phone and then you start a conversation, do you leave your phone up or do you turn your phone over?
I leave it up.
Okay. Me personally, as a sign of respect, anytime I've talked to somebody, if I got my phone, I put the screen face down so you know you have my attention.
Okay.
That's a me thing. So.
Well, I mean, are you saying if I'm on the phone with somebody, if I'm FaceTiming them, or if I'm just on social media?
Let's say that I'm sitting at a table and you walk up to me and then you don't want to talk to me. I will set my phone down and make sure it goes face down so that way you know I'm not on my phone anymore. And you get my
Gotcha.
attention now.
Yeah, that would definitely help cue more of you got my attention. But I guess me, with my mindset on 10 million things at once, I guess I just naturally have it face up. But hey, when someone's right in front of me, you've got my attention.
Not a big deal. I wondered that because Vince left his phone up. So I don't think it's a social rule. I think it's just a person-to-person thing. All right. Backstage, Dana Brooke, the 24/7 champion, has not been challenged yet for the belt. There was almost a challenge last night because we saw the Mina Tamina chasing after Dana Brooke. But you had R-Truth hanging out in the bushes. You had Tozawa in the garbage can. You had Reggie flipping around on the top talking to her. What's going on with the 24/7 belt?
Hey, they haven't, they kind of alluded to, are there some rules with
Go
this?
check the rule book
No,
again. Yeah. I
it's
mean, because she
not.
won it off a man, but she can't lose it to a man. I don't understand.
Right. That's what I was just about to say. So right now, the only female contender, going after her is just Tamina. But why is no one else? If
Why is it
I mean,
taking how
women.
many weeks?
Yes.
Main event.
Confusing.
Becky Lynch, Liv Tyler. Did I just say Liv Tyler?
Tyler.
My God, boy, I'm having a day.
Armageddon.
Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, not Liv Tyler, not Steven Tyler's daughter. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch.
Hey, is Liv Tyler on that Ranch Rules show?
No. It'd be funnier, probably. Because I don't want to close my eyes. Sorry. Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Really, at the end, Liv Morgan looked great, but Becky grabs the ropes. Ref doesn't see it. 1, 2, 3, and that's how the show wraps.
Once again, big time Bex pulls it off by pulling on the rope. And,
like a veteran champion. That's what a veteran champion does.
Right. Yeah. Liv Morgan definitely had a strong showing, a lot of the crowd behind her. And, and that piece, which I'm noticing on Raw, instead of filling some airtime with repeated promos of what happened last week or earlier in the night, they included some historic pieces on the talents, which I liked.
Yeah.
It helps us learn more about some of the stars we may not have known about, or maybe just a refresher. Even like the stuff with Miz, it wasn't written on the screen like it was for Carmella, but it's letting us know, educating us more on the current stars and why they are where they are.
I remember when they started doing that on SmackDown, like Matt Hardy 2.0 would have one random tidbit on there, like it was like stat, and then joke. Oh, great formula.
Yeah, but they did have a piece on Liv Morgan, and I do remember she had one of the documentaries on her, and it was a lot about that. But that was great to see that put in right before the match, and yeah, she did a great job. It was a nice match, but I didn't think that she was going to come off with the belt last night. Becky Lynch winning by cheating, as she should, as that dastardly heel. But yeah, big time Beck still on top.
Yeah, I thought it was a classy way to close it. Not a lot of shenanigans. You got proper wrestling and closed off, kind of buttoned up. Yes, the champion cheated to win, but she's a heel. She's going to do that, right?
Yeah.
All right. That was Raw. That was the rest of SmackDown from Friday night. Linda, go ahead and rest for the rest of the week. You got the week off. We're going to have Matthew in here tomorrow morning, taking over Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. How about that?
That sounds tremendous to me.
Tremendous. All right. For Linda Kane, the man they call Meathead, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.